get in tune with the cosmic power. By that tuning, you feel that force in you. Imbibe all those qualities, get the cosmic vision, transcend all your limitations, and finally become that transcendental reality. Normally, the mind and body limit you, but by holding something infinite, you slowly raise yourself from the finite objects that bind you and transcend them. Through that, you get rid of all the obstacles, and your path is made easy. Remember, yoga practice is like an obstacle race. Many obstructions are purposely put on the way for us to pass through. They are there to make us understand and express our own capacities. We all have that strength, but we don't seem to know it. We seem to need to be challenged and tested in order to understand our own capacities. In fact, that is the natural law. If a river just flows easily, the water in the river does not express its power, but once you put an obstacle to the flow by constructing a dam, then you can see its strength in the form of tremendous electrical power.
Namaste. Namaste. And what does that mean? The divine in me recognizes the divine in you. The divine in you recognizes the divine in me. So we're all divine, so how come we don't behave that way? Because we forgot. Simply, we forgot. We forgot we're spirit. We forgot we're energy. We forgot that we come from a greater source and the body is temporary. We just forgot. And why did we forget? The wonderful science of yoga tells us so simply, Sri Patanjali, my great teacher and my master, he tells us we forget because we live in the world of duality. We do, right? This world is always going to be dual. It's not going to change. So we have to learn to accept which road to take. And really, yoga is pretty simple. The word yoga means connecting to the higher self, the highest you can be. It's really very simple. What stops you from these things? These are obstacles. Very simple. Anger takes away your peace. Greed takes away your peace. Arrogance takes away your peace. Jealousies take away your peace. So these things take away your peace. So watch those things when they come into your life and work with them, because when those things take over your life, there's no connection with the higher source. Impossible. And then you're struggling, meditating, praying, asking, oh dear God, please make me better. But how can you be better if you don't look within? Always remember the simple statement. The kingdom of heaven is, be still and know that I am. As the scientists would say, unified field. People don't like to use the word God anymore. So let's call it divine consciousness, right? And science agrees that the consciousness lies everywhere. And one of the practices that we use is pranayama. Why do we use pranayama? Simply because it's the breath. It's subtle. What is our soul? Subtle. What will leave the body when we die? Prana. The material, the matter will stay behind. The matter will stay behind, but the spirit, the energy will go beyond this body. And this is what the whole yoga science is about. But the unfortunate thing is we're so busy thinking what's going to happen in the future that we don't live in the now, and heaven can be here now. And so many people are so sad with the state of the world. And the state of the world is the state of the world, and it's the state of the world. And during the Second World War and the First World War, it was the state of the world. And the state of the world is what it is now. Maybe it's more a emotional war, maybe because we have to get stronger emotionally. And it's attack on the mind. All the social media, it's a mental war. It's a minefield out there. And so people are getting so confused. But this is what we need to work with. There's so much stuff. And what is the teaching of yoga? Make it I love that. Who said that? Congratulations, yes. As Swami Chidananda would say, simple living, high thinking. So this is the study of the sciences. How do you maintain that peace? Faith. How do you build up faith? You have to build it within you, right? Nobody can give you that faith. You have to build it within you. How do you build it within yourself? And this is the science of yoga. This is what we're trying to study. What blocks that faith? What the world tells you, what society tells you, what social media tells you. Oh, this is the way you should think. That's the way you should think. So you give away all your power and your strength and all your faith to what everybody else tells you you should think. How scary is that? So we give way to all these messages we're getting out from the world. How can there be peace? There can be none. But if you sit within yourself, think, be still, and know that I'm God. Okay, I'm going to be still, but I don't know I'm God. I don't know I'm connected. I don't feel it. What's in the way? What's in that way? And you'll see it. And what you will see is what she said. You'll have to learn to detach from it. But that takes a little while. That takes a little while to let go of that arrogance or that greed or that ego. I have to be right and you have to be wrong. I don't want to say sorry. I used to love my school. It was a Catholic school, but we were brought up. We had to say, sorry, please, and thank you. And because we had to practice it, that's what Patanjali tells us. You have to practice. It was no big deal when you did something wrong to say sorry. You didn't say sorry, you go sit in a corner and get your hand slapped. But you learn to say certain words when the time is right. And thank you. I know some people never say thank you. People do something for them, well, they should do it. I see parents sometimes with kids, or kids with parents the other end. Why? My mother should look after all this. Why? You're grown up now. My mother should look after my kids so I can go party. Why? What do you think your mother is, a maid? Do you know? Why? How dare you even think that way? How do you call yourself a yogi? There's zero awareness of anybody else's. When you're in spirit, you realize that everybody is spirit and their pain becomes your pain in a way. So you start to realize that the way to the connection is when you feel that unconditional love. But that unconditional love can only be built when you have enough faith that we're all divine. And faith, and how do you build faith through your own life? If you look through your life, all the times that you thought you were alone, you got through them. So everything worked when you let go. This is what we let go and let God. Easy to do when everything is right, yeah? So easy to do when you have tests, right? As all of us do. That's when you need the faith, That's when the faith comes. So don't be afraid of your tests. That's what I'm telling you. Because it is through those tests that you become strong. Tests are there to make us strong, not weaken us. But what do we do when we have tests? Guess. Who weakens us?
Ourselves.
Who takes away our power? Learn that, because you become your best teacher. You become your best teacher, and who knows you better than you? Who sleeps with your thoughts at night? So the sooner you learn to have that faith within you, and you go, and that's the connection to the divine. That is the connection. I know this light is me. Every single scripture has told me that. But I don't know it here. I know it. I don't know it here and I don't know it here. I know it intellectually. So focus on it. We call it samyama according to Sri Patanjali. What is samyama? Samyama is attention, dharana, concentration. That's what it is. Meditation, and finally through that meditation, samadhi. Because when you're totally focused on it, you get what you want, whatever you focus in life. So what is your focus? What do you want? That's why I keep telling you again and again and again, know what you want. So somebody says something about, I really want to be rich. Fine. Then focus on being rich. You'll soon learn that it's not going to give you all the happiness that you think you'll get from being rich. But, fine. Focus on it. You'll get it. You have to go through the process to know. And that's why we go through suffering, because it reminds us, it makes us search deep inside of us for the truth. What do we really want to make of this tiny time, little time we have on earth? Choice is ours. It may be horrible out there. Yesterday somebody said to me in my health class, Nalanie, this world is so bad. I only find peace when I'm in here. So I said, if you can find it for this 1 hour and a half, extend it. You can do more. And then she said, really? I said, of course, if you can do something for an hour and a half, you can extend it. What was in this class that made you get that peace? Keep repeating it till you get really strong. And then you will. Because if you repeat a positive thing, Praktipakshabhavana, what happens? You become it. As you think. But if you think this is the only place you can find it, you're fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself, because it's not the only place you can find it. Peace is in your heart. It didn't come from my heart to your heart. I didn't go bang, you're going to find peace. You got the peace. I didn't do it. You did it. So that means you do have control over your mind for that hour and a half. What helped you distract from that mind? That's the question you have to ask. What was it that distracted me, that gave me the peace? I'm just an instrument, but you found the peace. So well, and she said to me, well, because I was in the movement and I was trying to stretch, and then we went into deep meditation, and I wasn't there. That's right. The mind's not there anymore. And then you get to like that feeling of da-da-da-da-da, not there anymore. And then you want it more and more and more. So that's what yoga really is. And that's what we're doing here. All trying to work out this world together. But the truth is within each of us. And the sooner you see it, the sooner you spend more time here. My master always said to us, don't go for the sideshows. I really thank him for that. Don't go, and I say, Gurudev, what are the sideshows? Oh, try this method and try this, or this medium and that medium. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying everything has its place in life. But it's temporary fix. Go for the real fix within you. Connect with the highest, and then you've got everything. Seek me first and all the righteousness, and everything else will come on to you. Read all the scriptures. They say that. They don't say to go on the sideshows and do all the other things. In fact, all the masters got angry when their students did that. So that is our path. So let's go back to, which sutra did I finish at? I'm supposed to do the 4 locks and keys today. Sutra 33, book 1. It's called the 4 locks and keys, not because it's the 4 locks and keys, because our master named it as such. Because he said, we have lots of obstacles that stop us from meditating, lots of different obstacles. He mentioned disease, dullness, doubt, laziness, carelessness, slipping from ground gain, false perception, sensuality, and failure to reach firm ground. But he said, all these things are your obstacle. So, and then he says, when you have these obstacles, you start to trembling of the hands, shaking of the knees. All of you know it. Dry mouth. These are all the obstacles. What do we call it today? Panic attacks or anxiety attacks. They come to tell you, they're really good friends. They come to tell you, look, you need to change something here, or you need to observe something here, or you need to watch what's happening here. And do something about it before you fall too low. And I love that. It's like a reminder. Okay, here I am now. I'm feeling uncomfortable. I'm getting the panic attacks. Let me sort it out. If I can't sort it out, let me get help immediately. Because if you don't, it goes deep into your system. And then he tells us, the way to cure this is by focusing on one thing. Why? Because when you're anxious, what happens to the mind?
Everywhere.
It goes really mad, doesn't it? And the first thing you need to do is bring it to one spot. And this is why we repeat the mantra. Or if you have faith in whatever you have faith in, Jesus, Shiva, Ganesh, or anything light nature, go be with that. Be with that one thing, because that will lift you. Be with whatever your faith lies, okay? That's wisdom. Go there, because that will build up your strength. And then he tells us in the next Sutra, 33, by cultivating attitudes of friendliness toward the happy, compassion for the unhappy, delight in the virtuous, and disregard towards the wicked, the mind retains its undisturbed calmness. Now, my master used to say, if you forget all the sutras of Patanjali and just focus on this one, you will get a lot of places. Why? Because what disturbs us most? The people around us. Correct or incorrect? So he says, okay, here I'm giving you 4 keys. The first one, friendliness towards the happy. Why do you think friendliness towards the happy? Anybody want to make a guess?
Because it rubs off on you.
Correct. Simply, it rubs off on you. If you're around happy people, you will laugh, right? You'll be lifted, right? If you're around depressed people, how would you feel, right? So this is friendliness towards the happy. But what happens in our world, and this I noticed before I started yoga, in myself as well, not only for everybody else. I think we have to study ourselves first in order to understand the world. So, happy people, there's jealousy that comes up. Well, and then there's hypocrisy. Oh, maybe they're a hypocrite. Well, this is what many people said of me when I first started yoga. They still do, by the way. They still do. Not possible. She can't be like this all the time. It's up to you to think what you want. It's fine with me. So instead of developing these things towards people, then because when you're thinking this way, as you think, but I can't be with these people. They're only happy because they've got, they made their money through smuggling, or they made their money because, they have too many contacts. Instead of being happy for people, or they're only happy because they're pretending, whatever, we put people down. So we need to be around people who are really happy. I'm talking about sincere happiness, or I'm not talking about people who pretend, or we got those types too, right? But people who really can relax in life. Come on, sit down, let's have a chat, let's have a giggle, and just be a little mischievous, a bit fun. Nowadays, the way they describe yoga, oh my God, you have to be so serious. Well, a lot of rubbish. What's the point? Life is too short. Being a yogi doesn't mean that you're a walkover. You become strong. You want to deal with love. You have no time for this kind of, life is too short. So here he says, friendliness towards the happy. So next time you see a happy person, find out their secret instead of judging them. So the second one is compassion towards the unhappy. Nowadays, you see, lots of people are unhappy. Would you agree? Yeah? Most people that come to me because they're a little unhappy. So, and why are they unhappy? Because they're lost, little lost in their life. They got off what I call the God wagon, or the light wagon. They got into the dark zone, or what I call the black cloud. And they can't see it. And it's not a fault. It's not wrong. It happens to us human beings. And we're so dark that we have to shoot out of that darkness ourselves. So compassion, when people are unhappy, sometimes we tend to lecture them. You know, you should do this and you should do that and you should do that and do that. They can't hear you. I need to tell you all that. It happens. They can't hear you. You can talk and talk and talk till you're exhausted. Don't bother. Don't lecture them. What should you do? Sorry you're suffering. And if they go on and on, then you really have to walk away a little bit, because compassion is not pity. Okay, compassion is empathy. It's a wonderful feeling. The moment people go on and on and on, what are you not feeling anymore? You lose the compassion, right? You lose the compassion. Maybe you continue being a hypocrite and trying to pretend you have compassion. You don't help the other person. It's better to walk away and let them learn by themselves. Because, you know, if nobody's going to be listening, they'll have to change their record sooner or later. But if you... So it's not about pity. It's not about lecturing. Compassion is just, I'm sorry, going through a tough time. I'm here for you. You need me? Call me. Let them call you. See, many of us want to fix people. We want to see people happy. Many human beings are so nice, but you can't fix everyone. Sometimes by trying to give them over compassion, we actually are not helping them, because that's the negative attention they're seeking. They're seeking that negative attention. They've been, this is the way to get attention. And I've seen many of these cases. When I'm miserable, everybody wants to comfort me. So I'm going to stay sick. I know people who are sick constantly, physically sick, because when they're sick, they got the attention. It's really quite scary. And so I say, don't give them so much attention to the sickness. Teach them another way out of sickness. And I've done that with 3 or 4 people in my life who really developed such illnesses, because when they were ill, mom, dad, brothers, sisters, everybody's around. Until this went on for too long. And nobody's caring for me anymore. But by then, the illness has been chronic. And then it's teaching them to get stronger in themselves, to trust. And really, I have seen this. They get better and better. You know, just compassion. Come on, you can do it. You can always compassion with strength. This is how I would say, give them a bit of strength, but no reliance on you. Because the moments they start to rely on you, making them happy, then you're caught again. So compassion, but no reliance. So remember, that is really, really important when you work with people. But always compassion. Don't lecture. They don't want to hear a lecture. I see this in relationships, actually. When a man or a woman, one of them is unhappy in a relationship, the other one's telling them, I want you to be happy. I want you to be happy. But they don't know how. They're in a black spot. So I can see you going through a really bad time. So I'm going to continue my work. You need me, I'm here. And this is where I tell the partner, okay, get distracted. Don't go fall into their depression, because you're nagging them and they're hearing you. They're getting more depression, more tension. The whole home has become negative, you know. You need to, okay, you want to be like this. Guess what? I'm going to take a walk. Your energy's a little heavy, darling. Bless you. I'm here for you, but enough is enough. Because when you stay 24 hours a day with them, they can be too much, and they suck out your energy. So you also, the person who's giving the compassion, also has to develop the strength to say, now I need to be strong. Because 2 of us depressed, oh my God, why would you want to live in hell? So okay, but are you leaving me? No, I'm here for you, but I just want to maintain my strength and be happy. Bye. I'm going away for a couple of days. See you in a couple of days. Sometimes that's the medicine people need. So compassion has to be also quite strong. I love you so much that I want you to see your own strength. But if I'm with you 24 hours a day, I break you down and I break myself down. We both break down. No point. So are you seeing the compassion? It's really deep. I mean, you can talk about compassion for hours. So many people in the spiritual world totally misunderstand the word, and they give so much pity, and they drain themselves. And carers do this a lot, and I've worked with a lot of carers, and I really thank them, because when my husband was really sick 15 years ago and died of cancer, when he was going through the illness, and I realized how they never took time out for themselves. Not that I did. The sickness was very short, 6 weeks, but I did. I was in the hospital 24 hours a day, but I would, as soon as somebody would come in, I'm going for a 2-hour walk. And I just walked by the beach. And when I'd come back, my husband would say, it took so long. I go, I'm really sorry. I needed it. I can be better for you. I can be better for you. And carers tend to not do this, and what happens is they get drained. So, and then I find that when the other person gets really sick, the carer also gets sick. So two people again. So take time off. No matter how much you love someone and you feel their pain, it's important to build your strength for them. You really love them, you will be unselfish to you, because you can be a better carer. Otherwise you're going to be so bogged down, so exhausted, you're not good to anyone. Okay, these are the little things I've seen happen. The next one is delight in the virtuous. Can you all say it? Delight in the virtuous. This is a little similar to friendliness towards the happy. Delight that there's such good people in the world. Always, thank God you're in this world, And when you delight in the virtuous, what happens? What are you feeling?
Appreciation.
Yeah, and then you want to develop those qualities. When you're jealous of people who are virtuous, or you're trying to put them down, what happens? Jealousy is the quality you develop, because whatever you think becomes. So instead of jealousy, you delight. I'm so glad there are good people around. The world's not so bad, I tell people that all the time, don't I, Les? They go, oh, the world's going so bad. I say, my world is beautiful. I only see beautiful people. They have suffering, but they're beautiful people. They're suffering, but they all want to be better. Isn't that beautiful that people want to be better? Isn't that wonderful, not wanting to be worse? So yeah, there are so many wonderful people in this world. So focus on those. Don't focus on the negative. And if you're around people who are not virtuous, who lie, who cheat, who hurt, step away. Step away. Step away, because you become contaminated in your heart. What will you think all the time? Oh, that person's lying, that person's cheating, that person's doing this, that person is doing this, that person is greedy, that person's... You are thinking for that person, so you are contaminated. Don't contaminate yourself. Walk away. But instead look for good qualities, and which is a really good practice, because sometimes the world around you can tend to be really hard. Sri Patanjali tells us in Book 2, Sutra 1, accepting pain for purification, swadhyaya, which is study of spiritual books, and total surrender will help you to heal yourself. This is called Kriya Yoga. So here what you do, what I found really useful is read Swadhyaya, study of spiritual books. Start reading books that elevate your mind, make you happy. Oh my God, so nice to read this book. It makes me so happy. Elevate your mind. And finally, one of the hardest ones is the last one, which is disregard towards the wicked. Now, wicked is a very strong word, and I think it's just literal translation from Sanskrit to English. There are people, there's two forms of wickedness, and I'm going to describe both, okay? There are people in the world that are evil. Do you all accept that? I know I say everybody is divine, right? Everybody comes from the same divinity. They're just not connected. So their minds are in the way, their ego's in the way of the divinity. So they're really evil. I mean, we see that in PDF files, and a lot of trafficking that I've heard about, women trafficking. I mean, this is all real. And I've been to Romania where I've met a woman who helped these young girls get out of these cases, and her life is in danger because she's trying to get them out. That everywhere these people are evil. I had a call from a country of a woman. Her husband was a pedophile, and when she reported it, because he was famous, he got her put in jail. So the world, there are these kind of people that exist in this world. So really, when you see people have this kind of energy, and I was having a nice conversation with my dear friend, and she was saying, Nalanie, isn't it true? You can see the goodness in people's eyes. I said, that is wisdom. When the eyes look at you, you know, right? But we don't want to know. We're kind of like, oh no, I'm supposed to think they're good. We know, but we don't want to know. We hide the fact that we can see that hardness or that coldness. Oh, because we have to think good thoughts, so we can't think that. But you are thinking that, but you're not following your intuition. Follow your intuition. It will always lead you to the right place. If you get that feeling, have the courage to walk away before you get into their cage. Because once you get into the energy power, very hard to get out of these people's power. Very hard. Because just as very good people have magnetic power, very evil people have magnetic power. We've seen it. Hitler, how did he change a whole population? Really both have strong powers, good and evil. So you really, of course, the evil in the end always gets destroyed. You can see it throughout history. But why do we want to put us through ourselves through all this evil? Why not just avoid it? Don't get near it. We don't need to go get near it. If you don't need to go into a dangerous situation, don't go. Do you understand this? Sometimes people think they can heal everybody or help everybody, and they go into these horrible situations where people will break them down and make them feel like this small. So why do you allow it? It may not be evil, but it's not nice. It's not a kind thing to do. Why are you taking all this unkindness? What in your soul tells you you don't deserve respect, love, and kindness? Who's telling you that? Don't allow your mind to be manipulated by negative, okay? This is really important. So disregard it. Walk away before you get involved. And the other disregard is, even in little relationships, this is the bigger things I'm talking about, and just walk away immediately. Negative people, walk away. And if you're friends that are very doing things that you know are not good or not legal and get you involved, please don't get involved in their karma. You can't save them unless they want to be saved. Walk away before you get caught in their karma, because every action has an opposite and reaction. But if you become an accomplice, you become part of their karma. Okay, so watch. Unless you are lion tamer, you do not walk into the lion's den. Got it? But when you're a lion tamer, you can walk into any den. So when you're an expert on your own well-being, you can walk anywhere. But if you are not, step away. It's only a trained person that can deal with these kind of people. Now, many therapists and many people, counselors, try to deal with these people, and it's dangerous. Sometimes you have to know how to deal with them because they're in a different energy field. And you have to understand from their field, everything is different vision. So if you can't deal with it, just let them be. Leave them, walk away. And the other thing that we have in our lives is, this is called behavior modification. When I was in university, and some of you have heard this story, many, many years ago, I was 18 then, and I was studying psychology, and I was in the States. And my teacher said one day, Nalanie, why do you think, oh no, to the class actually, why do you think, men come to me and say, my wife always nags. And we all said, what is the reason? We were very young then. And he said, look, here's the story. He said, wife's at home, husband comes in, darling, will you hang up your coat? Yeah, I'll do it later. Puts it on the chair. She comes out. You didn't hang up your coat. I told you I'll do it later. Quite rude to her, right? So she hangs it for him. The next day he comes home from work, does the same. And he said, darling, please hang up your coat. Still doesn't do it. So she's a bit irritated now. So she hangs it up from him. Third day, oh, why don't you just hang up your coat for heaven's sake? Oh, please don't nag. I told you I will do it. So what's happened? She reacted to his negative action. This is really interesting, right? Because she hung it up for him. What should she have done? Left it. Next morning, he would say, house is messy. Oh yeah, you left your coat. You'll put it up. Somebody will put it up. You don't have to do it. But it's hard. It's hard to resist this, right? So he said, really, we've allowed somebody to manipulate our minds. So this is just human behavior. So this is why, look, Sri Patanjali, this is how many thousands of years old. People haven't changed, you see. And it's really so interesting. So it's the little negative behaviors. Don't give attention. Disregard. Don't give it energy. You know, if somebody is nasty, ignore them. They really can't stand to be ignored. You know, and I then so learned to do it with my children. So, and my poor son, one day he broke something and he was quite rude and he wouldn't apologize. So I said, fine. No dinner. And he was only little. He wouldn't say sorry. No, okay, you don't want to say sorry, no problem. I'm not making you dinner. No problem. My husband came home from work. He's so cruel. He's only a kid. No, he has to learn. I'm not going to shout. I'm not going to scream. Just not going to give him dinner. I'm just going to ignore him. I tell him, I'm not talking to you. I'm not. Mom. I'm not talking to you. That's it. Done. He didn't say sorry. Anyways, midnight. He came to the room. Mom, I'm sorry. I'm really hungry. I did it. I managed. I could feed him because as a mother, you know how you feel. But it's non-attachment to my own feeling for his growth. And it worked because after that day, he did anything wrong, he would admit to it. You see, sometimes when we try to force people to learn the lesson, they rebel actually. They stay longer. When you let them disregard it, just let them think you've told them. You have to say the truth. You've told them what you thought. Now it's up to them. And the sooner they fall, the better for them. Right? The sooner they fall, the quicker they learn to ride the waves. But if we always overprotect our children, which I see is happening too much today, I'm really sorry to say this. There is so much overprotection of the children that when they fall, when they go through a tough time, the parents do everything for them, pick up the pieces. How are they going to learn resilience? How did we learn resilience when we fell and we picked ourselves up? We gave ourselves the power. Teach them power. Teach them to be strong. Don't do everything for everybody. We weaken them. So anyway, we disregard the wicked sometimes, in relationships, sometimes a partner will swear at the other one, and then one swears and the other one swears and the other, and it's a vicious circle. So if somebody should swear, and that's what I used to say when my husband would swear, not often, but when he did, I'd go, I don't like swearing. I wouldn't talk to him. Just don't talk. What do you do? Busy. I'm doing my article. What's wrong? And then later I'll say, you don't have a right to speak to me like that. I don't deserve it. Just like the L'Oreal, I deserve the best. I love that ad. Because I'm worth it. Right? If you don't give your soul, your spirit, any kind of respect, who will give you respect? If you don't respect yourself and you allow people to walk over you, it's nothing to do with them. You haven't respected yourself. Protecting yourself is important. We are all spirit, all of us in this world. We deserve to be spoken to kindly. Of course, life doesn't always work that way. So if anybody swears at you, walk away. And they say, oh, you're not listening. I don't think I'm stupid. You can think I'm stupid. It's your problem, not mine, is it? I know who I am. Do you see? Get that faith in yourself. And, I know I will not do anything to hurt you. And you can clearly say that. I don't deserve it. But of course, if you've done something to deserve it, then say sorry right away. Because the argument will go on for days. You don't want that either. Hell, that's hell. The argument goes on for days. But disregard the little things. Don't bother with them, Just ignore it. I'm not going to buy into this. And they can see, because they don't have a voice speaking back to them. They have to hear their own voice. If somebody's screaming and arguing and you don't reply, what are they hearing? It's horrible. Have you ever been angry and the person doesn't reply to you? It's really like you can hear your own anger. It's scary, isn't it? Yeah, really scary. So these are such simple truths. And my master would say here, and I just finish with this. Whether you are interested in reaching samadhi or plan to ignore yoga entirely, I would advise you to remember at least this one sutra. It will be very helpful to you in keeping a peaceful mind in your daily life. You may not have any great goal in your life, but just try to follow this one sutra very well, and you will see its efficiency. In my own experience, this sutra became my guiding light to keep my mind serene always. And that is Sutra 33, Book 1, Yoga Sutras of Sri Patanjali. Unfortunately, I think we're sold out here, but it's available on Amazon. And it's by Swami Satchidananda, because his version is the one I use. I've read many different versions, but only because I feel very our-centric. We can understand it. Some sutras go so deep that you have to go to the self and samadhi to understand. But this covers the human psychology, which I believe is very necessary. I find that many yoga schools today focus on samadhi or attaining nirvana without understanding their human psychology. We are human after all. So we can't do a spiritual bypass. We have to go through our humanness to understand the spiritual. You can't just say, because I meditate 8 hours a day, I'm a good person. In fact, I know many people who do that and can be quite horrible and quite cold and quite unkind. I have met people like that. So for me, what is yoga? Kindness, goodness, living a good life, being in touch with the divine. And when the mind is peaceful, you are in touch with the divine. Because if you're peaceful, what do you have? Everything, right? Everything. So isn't it a great journey we live in this life? Interesting, right? There is so much to do here. So please remember that always. The magic is within you. The love is within you. The teacher is within you. Get the teachings and live the teachings. Don't talk the teachings. That's easy to do. There are a dime a dozen. You'll find them everywhere. People talk about all this stuff all the time. But do they walk their talk? Walk your talk. Walk your talk, because you're the only one that can do it for you. If you don't love yourself to do it enough, then one lifetime wasted. Just come back and do it all over again, will you?